Hello, this is a first trimester update. So I'm 5 weeks and I think 3 days today. That sounds right to me. And there's a whole lot to say. I can't quite remember when the last day I updated was. So I'll just give you an update on this week. Sunday, I was pretty exhausted all day, but I still definitely made it through the day and I felt good. Monday morning, I met for coffee with my mom and we talked over some things. I scheduled the baby's first appointment, and all that kind of fun stuff. And then my mom had warned me. She was like, "You feel good right now. Just telling you, like you are about to not feel good." Sure enough, the next day I had to call in to work sick for the first time ever. I've never called into work sick. If I've been sick, I've just pushed through, but I could barely walk. I had a fever of almost 100. It was pretty much 99.7 or 99.9 all day. And I'm typically low 97, high 96, which is pretty low. So I was up more than 2.5 degrees than typical. So I was struggling with that. And then I had full body aches like crazy. I could barely walk. I could barely lift things. Everything felt heavy. So I went into work for about an hour and a half and then I was able to leave and I rested the rest of the day. And then I went back into work to do a store flip for a couple of hours. And that knocked everything out of me. I got home and I went to sleep. By the time I was going to sleep, I was starting to feel a little better, which had me hopeful. Then the next day was yesterday and I woke up feeling pretty good. I was more sinusy than the day before and I've got a little bit of a cough going on. So that was yesterday. By 4 p.m. I was exhausted from the day. That comes with pregnancy and that comes with being sick. So all of that went together and I was just very tired, but I pushed through. I felt like I was gonna faint for a solid hour at least of just consistent feeling like I was gonna faint, and I was just standing because I was at work. So that was hard. And then let's see. Okay, then I woke up this morning at probably 12:15 in the morning and oh my word, somebody's car alarm. Thank you very much. I woke up around 12:15 this morning, I think, with severe nausea and I was I'm literally about to throw up. So I went and sat in the bathroom and I just held my hair up waiting to throw up over the toilet, and I didn't end up throwing up. The feeling started going away, but I still had that stomach ache that I felt like I was gonna throw up. So I went ahead and I grabbed my pillow and my blanket and I literally just laid on the bathroom floor. So that was my first bad wave of nausea. That was all I want right now is to throw up. So I'm having a hard time with I just have always wanted to be pregnant, and now that I'm pregnant, it makes me not want to be pregnant again. And I know the blessing of carrying a child, and I always thought that was how I was going to feel when I was pregnant, is I wouldn't even care about all the bad things because I would be so excited. I'm bringing the Lord's creation into the world. I'm literally having a baby. And it's not quite the way I feel right now. Maybe the more towards second trimester I get, I'll feel that way. But oh my word, I'm tired. I don't want to get out of bed. Everything hurts. I literally have had a constant headache since I was in my 2-week wait of just wrapped around my head headache. It's terrible. And I can't really do anything to make my symptoms better at this time. So I just kind of have to deal with it as every other woman does when she feels these symptoms. And I'm dealing with it, and I'll be out of the first trimester in 2 months. So I just have to feel this way for 2 more months. I'm just praying for an increase in energy and feelings because I don't want to do anything. I'm 7 weeks and 2 days today. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an update of how I've been since my last update. Let's go week 6. So week 6 was a pretty busy week for us. It was Christmas week, which is why I haven't been doing too many updates. I've just been extremely busy. I started off the week with strong morning sickness starting to kick in, and I quickly learned that if I eat something right away when I get up in the morning, my body responds best, and then I was pretty much good the rest of the day. As long as I kept having like little foods here and there, I found that I needed to start eating multiple times a day instead of just the average like 3 meals a day. I also started noticing that week that I was getting more clumsy, things just like knocking cups over and things like that, and I just am not typically that person. I've been a little bit more forgetful, so I've been trying to write everything down, and then by the end of week 6, the nausea was like uncurable for a few days in a row. It was very bad, of just like no matter what I ate, what I did, I just felt sick. Part of that had to do with we traveled down to Tennessee, and being in the car for that long was very hard on my body. I felt sick the whole car ride there. We ended up splitting it into, we left Thursday night, we stopped overnight after we had been driving for about 6 hours. We stopped overnight, and then we continued the rest of the day. And during both of those days that we were in the car, I just felt horrible. It was not fun. I did notice that whenever we'd stop to get gas or do anything like that, I would feel better just not being in the moving vehicle. But that was week 6. I've been really good about taking my prenatals every day. There's only been one day that I missed, and I was frustrated with myself. I haven't taken them today, so I'll need to make sure that I do that when I get home this evening. Just as long as I'm taking them every day, that's a win for me. At week 7, obviously just started 2 days ago, so I've only had 2 full days and then part of today to know what week 7 is bringing. But I definitely think I have a bump now. It's obviously not a large bump, but I definitely see a difference between my pre-pregnancy body and where I'm at now. So that's kind of fun to just know my little baby's growing in there. And I've been pretty good at keeping the nausea down, but this morning I did cough and then I threw up. I've thrown up twice now through this pregnancy. Today was not fun because I have been eating like crackers every morning before I get out of bed, and this morning I had blueberry muffins, 2 like mini muffins. I was like, I should be completely fine, and then that's what I threw up. So I'm gonna try and not do that because maybe those just didn't settle in my stomach well either. So I don't really know. It's a whole lot of just playing around, trying out different things, because it changes every single day what works and what doesn't. And what worked yesterday for me to feel good does not work today. I've been very, very tired, which is typical, comes along with pregnancy, but I'm just not used to being this tired all the time. I could fall asleep at any minute, I feel like, the majority of the day. So I'm leaving the doctor's office now. I'm heading into work. My appointment was good, praise the Lord. We got through the first part of it, and then I had to go down for ultrasound, and we found 2 yolk sacs with a baby in each, with heartbeats of 189 and 185. So 2 healthy babies. I'm so excited I'm gonna have twins. I don't know what in the world I'm supposed to do with that information. I have wanted twins for as long as I can remember. Today we are going over my first trimester recap with twins. So I did a whole video about my symptoms during my 2-week wait. I had headaches for a few weeks straight, which did start during the 2-week wait, and then into after finding out I was pregnant. I had these terrible headaches that went ear to ear, like around my head, and those lasted for probably 3 to 4 weeks, at most 4, definitely no further than that. And then I did experience them again around week 11 for several days, and I feel like that had to do with changes in my diet. Around week 5, I'd like to say, is when I started experiencing many changes in my body, and I felt the exhaustion hit, which lasted the entirety of my first trimester. It was insane, just the amount of exhaustion I felt every single day, no matter how much sleep I got, no matter how good my sleep was, just tired. And it was hard for me to get through my work days. I just pushed through and I kept doing what I needed to do, but it was definitely a hard experience for me. I'm still not 100% fully through that exhaustion, but through this week and last week, I've been able to get out of bed around 7 a.m. and my alarm goes off at 6. I usually just rest my eyes until like 6:20. I don't ever fall back to sleep, but I just like lay there and cozy up and just enjoy the darkness, and then I start to get up from there. But before, I was having to lay into bed until about 8 a.m., which at least, and I have to be at work most days by 9:45, so then I'd have to get up and do whatever I need to do in the kitchen and eat breakfast, get ready, all those sorts of things. So that was really hard on me because I never had any motivation. All I wanted to do was stay cozy in bed. Showers were not something that I like necessarily wanted to do. It just felt like a chore. Not because they didn't feel good, but because I just wanted to stay in my bed, and I always shower in the morning. So that played a part. But like I said, in the last week and this week so far, I've been able to get out of bed by 7 every day, which has been great. Today, I was out of bed at 6:30, partially because I needed to come out here and talk to my husband before he left for work, but also because I had the energy to get up, which felt great. Also, then around week 6, I started getting up to go to the bathroom in the night, which is not like me. I always go to sleep, wake up in the morning, and nothing happens in between. I stay asleep, and I started having a lot more disrupted sleep, not being able to get comfortable. I think it just had to do with more so me not feeling well and not anything to do with my belly or anything. My belly was not in the way at that point, so it was not disrupting my sleep, but that came into play. I'm trying to think. Probably around 6 weeks, I would say. I was getting up to the bathroom. I've been having to sleep with water by my bedside every single night, because even if I didn't have to get up to go to the bathroom, I had to get up because I needed some water, or to move my position because wherever I was laying wasn't comfortable. And it was around that time that I also started waking up every time I moved. My body was very achy, and so it kind of hurt to move from side to side, but I was only sleeping on my sides. So if I was on my right side and I, needed to move to my left side, I woke up in that transition. And that has been something that I experienced very strongly for a few weeks in the first trimester. And the last couple of weeks, I would say, have gotten better. I've been able to sleep a little bit more through that movement. My body is starting to feel a little better in that way. I used to have to stretch every single day, and I should continue to do that, but I was needing to stretch my hips out every day, and my husband was giving me back massages just lightly because I just felt so tight for a few weeks in there, it was pretty bad. It still is on and off. I mean, that's just pregnancy. It's uncomfortable, but there were definitely times the first trimester that those changes that my body was experiencing, it was a little bit more difficult on my body to get through that. So I was seeing a lot of those kinds of things during the night, like water, bathroom breaks, discomfort. I ended up ordering a pregnancy pillow, and the first night I had my pregnancy pillow, I want to say I ordered it around 7 weeks. And I was like, wow, I'm surprised I need this already. But then the first night I slept with it, I slept phenomenally. So that saved me for a few weeks. And actually the last couple of weeks, like last week and this week, I haven't really been wanting to use my pregnancy pillow as much. I found that I move it in my sleep, and I've been sleeping better without it. So I am going to try this evening without my pillow in my bed at all and see what happens if I end up wanting it or needing it, whatever that may be. But I've found that it is not aiding to me as much as I needed it before. So we'll see if I can go without it this evening. And so that was something that ended up being very helpful for me, because I think it helped me to just stay in one spot instead of feeling like I needed to move back and forth. I felt like I could just stay there. I have not been sleeping in my stomach at all or my back. It's literally just been my left or right side. So my pillow definitely helps with that, because I can get comfortable to be positioned on the side really well in that. It's almost like a dock-a-tot or a snuggle me for the baby, for the mom. So I've been enjoying that. Let's see what else happened. First trimester, I experienced morning sickness for, I want to say 4 to 5 weeks. It could have been longer than that, but my weeks felt very long. I was pregnant, or I was in my first trimester all of January and all of December, and every single day in January felt like 2 days. So it just felt very long. But morning sickness lasted 4 to 5 weeks at the least. And I was waking up in the mornings so nauseous. I could not get out of bed unless I had eaten something. So I was sleeping with food at my bedside every night for all of those nights, whether it be like crackers or pretzels or an apple, things like that. That was super helpful to have. That pretty much saved me if I had done that. But then I had a couple weeks in there where no matter what I did, it wasn't helping. So it was just constant nausea, not fun. But I actually think I ended up getting over it faster than most women do. So I'm very grateful for that. The only thing is I have noticed how terrible my gag reflex is. Not fun at all. This is now the 4th week of this. Every single morning I've been coughing. I just cough all day. It's just where we are right now. Welcome to, I guess it's February now, winter in the Midwest. And so every single morning, as soon as I cough, I throw up for the last 4 weeks. So not very fun. I have been throwing up every single day, some days twice. And there's not really anything I can do about it. It's not caused by any food or anything like that. It's literally just gag reflex. So that was something I was unaware of happening to pregnant women. So if you didn't know, now you know. That can significantly affect you. Some women it doesn't, and some women throw up every day like I do. So I guess we will see how that progresses, because that doesn't have to do with the trimester kind of thing. That's just where we're at right now. So we'll see how long that lasts for. Hopefully I can just get over this cough soon and I won't have to deal with it anymore, because gosh, it's uncomfortable. I've been taking my prenatal vitamins every day. I have not had any issues with those. I've heard a lot of women struggle with nausea and not being able to let their vitamins settle well, and I haven't found that has been an issue for me, which has been great. I've been using the Ollie prenatal vitamins. However, they're coated in a sugar, and I just don't like that. I don't like gummy things. I just don't. I ended up getting a new brand. They're also very citrusy, and I don't prefer that necessarily. So I ended up getting a different kind this last time. I only took them yesterday. They're brand new, just got them this week. So we're gonna see how those do. They seem to have settled well yesterday, but I guess we'll see. I'm gonna take them again today. I did have some digestive issues yesterday. So I don't know if those had anything to do with it. I'll take them again today and see how my body responds to that. But I can't remember the brand of them. But these ones are not sugar coated. They're gummies and they're like raspberry strawberry flavored. So they're not as citrusy as the Ollie vitamins. So we'll see how that works. Hopefully we'll be in the clear. On another note, my digestive system is something that is important to mention for first trimester. It was so off the entirety of my first trimester, struggling to process food. There were a couple weeks in a row where every night when I would lay down to go to bed, my digestive system didn't know what to do, and so I was dealing with strong stomach pains, a lot of discomfort, which then was leading to pelvic discomfort for a couple weeks straight. So that was not comfy. The digestive system, I feel like, just moves so differently, and I feel like no matter what I eat, it's not enough for my body to produce anything, and so it's been hard for bowel movements, things like that. It just is all very different. Definitely throws your body off, all the hormones going on and the things that are changing, and my nutrients are going to 2 babies and all of that kind of stuff, which then leads me into my first trimester appointment with my doctor. So I went in at 9 weeks and 2 days for my appointment. We were able to do an ultrasound, check in, all those kinds of things that they do at your first appointment. Everything was going great. I did have, for 3 or 4 days prior to my appointment, a fear that I was losing the baby. My symptoms had completely stopped for a few days, completely, and it was just so random, and I had noticed it so much because my symptoms had been so significant that was very frightening to me, and I felt like the Lord was pressing into me, you have so little faith, why did you doubt? And so I was clinging on to that, I have so little faith, why did I doubt the Lord? And so in that gave me peace that everything was going to be okay. My husband kept saying everything was going to be okay, but I was just so scared that I had went through feeling so terrible. My first trimester was not fun, just not. And I will admit that to anybody. It is a blessing to carry these babies. It truly is. But it's not always fun. It's not the most comfortable thing. It's not, you don't feel great most of the time, and that's just how it is. But I was clinging on to, you have so little faith, why did you doubt? And I went in for my appointment. We ended up getting through the appointment part of it, and then we had the ultrasound, and as soon as we got on there, she's just explaining everything that's inside of me, this is your placenta, this is your uterus, bladder, whatever, listing everything off, and I'm just staring at the 2 sacks on the screen, each carrying a baby, and the promise from the Lord just felt so fulfilled. I was just so filled with joy and peace and comfort. I felt so much comfort. I was not surprised. It just felt so right. And so then the doctor went over to each baby, checked for heartbeats. Heartbeats were very good. They were very high, at 189 and 185, so super, super high. We did just have another ultrasound at 13 weeks, and baby's heart rates were both in the 150s. So that was super awesome. We're doing so good, super strong, but that was my joy then that I was clinging on to. All of this was worth it, and even more worth it now because I'm going to be having 2 babies, and I'm so thrilled and excited about that. But after that appointment, continued not feeling well, and serious exhaustion, just overwhelming tiredness, and there was just nothing that I could do for it. But then it all comes together, and it all starts feeling a little better, slowly but surely. Things do seem to be looking on the upwards. I'm 13 and a half weeks now. So, we also did our NIPT testing. There was that. and everything came back good from that. Today we have our nuchal translucent ultrasound or something. There's some fancy name, but it's the ultrasound that goes along with the NIPT testing. So we've got that today, and then first trimester things are going to kind of come to a close, and I am now officially in my second trimester. Babies are the size of plums or pickles, depending on no, not pickles, wrong word, jalapeno peppers, lengthwise, and I think for the plum it's lengthwise as well. I don't really understand fully, but we will get to see the babies today and get some new pictures. We're going to be doing our pregnancy announcement within the next week as well, I think, and we got our gender results back from the NIPT testing, all sorts of things. So with the first trimester, terribleness does come. The fun things like possibly hearing your baby's heartbeat. With twins, you don't get to hear their heartbeat first trimester because it's hard to determine which twin's heartbeat is which, and so they actually just have to do ultrasounds to read the heartbeats instead, which is fun because then you get to see your babies too. So you get that, and you get, if you do the NIPT testing, you can find out the gender, so that's fun. Singleton wise, you can do that a little bit more than twin. Twin is a little different. You more so just get a probability of gender, but it's still fun. Then you get to know just a little bit of information about who you may be carrying. There's things to look forward to, like baby showers and buying baby things and all sorts of stuff. So even though it's not the most fun thing on your body, and it can feel so taxing, and it can feel almost helpless because you so badly want to be able to get things done, but you don't have the motivation for it. Every single day I did not want to go to work. I just didn't have the motivation for it. I didn't have the energy for it, and it got to be so heavy on me. Every single day I was telling my mom, like, Mom, this is just so much for me. I just can't keep doing this. And work obviously didn't know, and so I'm just putting on a front every single day, and it's exhausting. I would come home and I would do nothing then the rest of the night. It was around 10 weeks, I'd say, I started gaining energy to, I would say 11 weeks actually, to start getting back on dinners and meal planning and things like that. So that took quite a while for me to even have the energy to come home and make dinners and things like that. So I was relying on my husband a lot, and he was absolutely great through that, but it's still just a hard process to be in. It's a lot on your body, especially first pregnancies, because it's things you've never experienced before, and you have all these hopes and desires and dreams, and you just want to feel good and you want to be excited, and it can be so hard to do that. So in all of that, there is plenty of goodness that comes along with it. I'm thankful that you guys took the time to watch this video today, and I hope that you want to join us along on our journey. We will be doing a gender reveal, baby shower, baby hauls. We're going to be moving. There's lots of fun stuff coming up for our lives, so it's great. I'd love if you join along with us, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.